Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. This time, I've put together a guide on how to play against lands and my thoughts on sideboarding strategies. In the explanation section, I've summarized effective ways to deal with the Dark Depths combo. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. It's a bit weak, but since I have draw sources, lands, and disruption, I'll keep the hand. I'll play around Wasteland and aim to remove Sphere of Resistance. I took out Crop Rotation. I'll search for Mana Acceleration. I stacked Gia's Wolf followed by Duress in that order. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate more mana needed for the combo. I'll go through the graveyard to execute the combo. I'll accelerate my mana while also building up the storm count. With a sufficient storm count, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. These are the cards in the lands deck that are relevant to ad nauseam tendrils. First, there are artifacts like Soulguide Lantern, Grafdigger's Cage, Vexing Bauble, Deafening Silence, Disruptor Flute, Sphere of Resistance, and Damping Sphere. In response to these, I'll bring in Echoing Truth, Abrupt Decay, Wear Down, and Boseiju, Who Endures. Next are graveyard hate cards like the Crop Rotation and Bojuka Bog Package, Grafdigger's Cage, Surgical Extraction, and Soulguide Lantern. When ignoring the opponent's graveyard hate and focusing on speed, aiming for the ad nauseam route is ideal. To make full use of ad nauseam, I'll include Chrome Mox. Next, since I'm already running Burning Wish, I'll prioritize Burning Wish and remove the Beseech the Mirror package. Of course, there's also the option of keeping the Beseech the Mirror package, but this time, since I'm aiming for the ad nauseam route, I want to reduce the number of weaker cards that could be revealed with ad nauseam. And since Beseech the Mirror is more likely to be hindered by my opponent's graveyard hate and can't search for ad nauseam, I removed it to balance the deck. Next, cards like Flusterstorm and Consign to Memory have been showing up in some players' builds recently. Veil of Summer can stop Flusterstorm but can't prevent Consign to Memory, so honestly, I'd prefer to remove all the Veil of Summer and replace them with more hand disruption. I left just one copy of Veil of Summer because I want to handle my opponent's roughly 4 counterspells with a total of 6 cards, 5 hand disruption spells and 1 Veil of Summer. Next, I'll remove all the Vexing Baubles, as they don't contribute much in this matchup. Finally, if I have a weak hand and my opponent executes the Dark Depths combo, I'll introduce some effective countermeasures. I'll explain 2 scenarios, when my opponent doesn't have blue mana available, and when they do have blue mana available. First, let's look at when the opponent doesn't have blue mana available. My opponent targets Dark Depths with Thespian Stage's ability. Then, Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Dark Depths, without counters, and the ability to create a Marit Lage token goes on the stack. After that, the original Dark Depths is sacrificed due to the legend rule. At this point, the copied Dark Depths is on the battlefield, and the effect to create the token is on the stack. In this situation, if you activate Boseiju, Who Endures targeting the copied Dark Depths, you can disrupt the combo, because the token generating effect requires the sacrifice of a Dark Depths, without counters, which will no longer be on the battlefield. However, if the opponent has blue mana available, the situation changes. Next, let's look at when the opponent has blue mana available. Let's return to the previous situation. Currently, the copied Dark Depths is on the battlefield, and the effect to create a token is on the stack. You've targeted the copied Dark Depths with the effect of Boseiju, Who Endures. At this point, your opponent can use Consign to Memory or Stifle to counter their own token generating effect. In doing so, the token generating effect is temporarily countered and disappears, but the condition for dark depths, having no ice counters, is still met. In this case, since the state-based trigger condition is still met, the ability will trigger again and go back on the stack. This results in the token generating effect going on the stack above the Boseiju who endures effect. And the Marat Lage token will successfully be created. Therefore, if the opponent has blue mana available, instead of using Boseiju at the timing mentioned earlier, you should activate Boseiju who endures before Thespian stage targets dark depths and becomes a copy. By activating Boseiju who endures at this timing, you can avoid an unexpected sudden loss. This concludes the explanation of effective countermeasures against the Dark Depths combo. I'll mulligan since it looks like I'm going to get mana screwed. I'll send Burning Wish to the bottom. I'll target and took out their artifacts and enchantments. I took out Sphere of Resistance. I'll search for Mana Acceleration. I couldn't find it, so I'll shuffle. I'll search for Mana Acceleration. The effect of Surveil keeps the card on top of the library. I stacked Volcanic Island, followed by Boseiju, who endures in that order. The effect of Surveil sends the card to the graveyard. I'll search for Mana Acceleration. I couldn't find it, so I'll shuffle. Since they fetched Ghost Quarter, the end is near. The next brainstorm will decide the game. I'll search for Mana Acceleration. I stacked Abrupt Decay followed by Duress in that order. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate more mana needed for the combo. As for when to stop, with Ad Nauseam. In the case of Infernal Tutor, if your storm count is high enough and you can generate 6 mana while achieving Hellbent, you can secure the win. I'll accelerate my mana while also building up the storm count. With a sufficient storm count, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been Antya.